Hey everybody, so the biggest grossing fight in sporting history is finally done and dusted, so now hopefully we can get back to the really important questions of the day, like the final episode of Game of Thrones, which I intend to watch directly after I've uploaded this video. But anyway, in regards to the fight on Saturday night, one of the most fascinating aspects for me was watching so many Irish people deluding themselves. I think there was an element of groupthink going on in the country at large, and people en masse deluded themselves into thinking that McGregor had even a snowball's chance in hell of beating Mayweather in the fight. A completely fascinating and crazy thing to watch in the weeks leading up to the fight, that so many people, as the fighter got closer, they start saying, well, I don't know, I'm starting to see chinks in Mayweather's armour. They've changed the glove size. It's all playing into McGregor's hands. And for myself, and I'm not expert on boxing by any means, for me, the only surprise of the night was that McGregor managed to even lay a glove on Mayweather. But in fairness to Mayweather, I think that was as much down to Mayweather sitting back for the opening rounds just to suss out how McGregor was going to approach the fight, as much as it was to do with any boxing ability on McGregor's part. But in fairness to people in Ireland and McGregor fans generally worldwide, it wasn't just day-to-day people who engaged in this groupthink. You also had professionals like Brendan Schwab, who is an ex-heavyweight MMA fighter who spent months in the lead up to the fight basically making a career for himself, hypothesizing on how McGregor was going to approach the fight and how his unorthodox style was going to be difficult for Mayweather to counter, and that there was a chance that McGregor could land that big shot because of this unorthodox boxing style and knock Mayweather out. Well, Galileo, that was simply not the case. From day one, Mayweather knew exactly how this fight was going to work out. He knew he had it in the bag. This guy has done this all his life. For many boxing pundits, he's the best pound per pound fighter of all time. So the idea that some guy who has never had a boxing match in his life was somehow going to come into the ring and beat this guy, it was fascinating to watch how so many people bought into the delusion and bought into the hype. And you have to give McGregor credit for that. He is the ultimate showman. He is a master magician. He's got that Houdini thing where look over here so you can't see what's happening over here. And people bought into it, so fair play to him for that. But Mayweather won the fight. He won it comfortably. He is the best pound per pound fighter of his generation. Some would say of all time. Fair enough. Now, that is not to say that I am in any way, shape or form a Mayweather fan. He's a fantastic fighter, but outside the ring, I don't think he really has any redeeming qualities or virtues of note. He's a pretty odious human being. Flip side of the coin, I would find a lot of McGregor's actions, pretty crass and vulgar. So I didn't really have a horse in this race, if I'm being honest. But it has to be said, they are both great athletes, great at what they do in their particular disciplines, and they are both very smart, very shrewd business operators. McGregor in particular at 29 literally has the world in the grasp of his palm, and I think this could end up being the problem for McGregor fans, and I mean in particular fans of McGregor who are also MMA fans. The sheer fact that the fight was so popular and so successful financially means that there's very little incentive now for McGregor to get back into the octagon. People in the know in MMA circles, there's so much coverage of it online, will say that the only fight that could tempt him back in is another rematch against Diaz. Well, for me personally, I've already seen that fight twice and I've no real desire to see it for a third time, and I think there could be a lot of other people who are in the same boat as me on this. So the irony of this whole circus with Mayweather might end up being that for a lot of UFC fans and MMA fans in general, who also happen to be Conor McGregor fans, the very fact that the circus with Mayweather was so successful from a financial point of view might mean that they might only ever get to see their hero in the octagon one more time, if ever. Okay, so if you got this far into the video, hopefully you found at least some of the information helpful. Well, it wasn't really an informative video this time, but hopefully you found it somewhat entertaining anyway. If you did, please like the video and leave a comment.